In the blistering heat of a Midwest summer day, the unthinkable unfolded on the busy streets of a bustling American city. It began as a routine cash transport, a heavily guarded vehicle making its way through familiar urban streets. The sun shone high and unforgiving as the driver and his two trusted colleagues, all seasoned money collectors for a prominent financial service, navigated the labyrinthine cityscape. No one could have foreseen that beneath the veneer of everyday life, a meticulously planned ambush was waiting, its design as cold and calculated as a chess master's final move. In a chilling twist of fate, the tranquil hum of the journey was violently interrupted when masked assailants struck in broad daylight. The attackers moved with a precision that belied their apparent chaos, their intentions darkened by an air of menace. Inside the transport vehicle, all hell erupted. Two of the cash collectors were suddenly overcome by a deadly gas, a laughing gas laced with a toxic intent, leaving them incapacitated and unaware of the betrayal unfolding around them. The confined space, once a symbol of trust and security, rapidly transformed into a claustrophobic trap permeated with a noxious haze. Amid this pandemonium, the driver, a man known by the alias Tommy Rhodes in the murky annals of the city's underworld, unleashed an unexpected burst of resilience. Despite the disorienting poison cloud and the imminent danger, he acted on instinct, reaching for a concealed firearm. With his vision blurred by smoke and his mind racing against time, he fired into the fray. The unexpected volley of bullets cut through the smoky atmosphere, striking one of the attackers. The body of this assailant slumped to the pavement, a stark testament to the deadly resolve and chaos of the moment. Yet as quickly as the violence erupted, a more perplexing mystery began to take shape. Reports emerging from the scene hinted at anomalies that defied logical explanation. In the immediate aftermath, while emergency services scrambled and witnesses stood in stunned disbelief, a grim discovery sent ripples through the investigation. One of the robbers had been found lifeless in a nearby garage. More bewildering still was the observation that this second assailant carried no money, a fact that ignited suspicions of a hidden hand at play. Had there been a third element involved in the heist, lurking in the shadows behind the initial betrayal? As the dust began to settle on that fateful day, questions mounted with every passing moment. How could a carefully executed robbery end in such a tangled web of betrayal, poison, and reckless gunfire? And most haunting of all, what secret did the absence of cash on the second attacker conceal? The stage was set for an investigation that would peel back layers of deception in a case that promised to be as enigmatic as it was deadly. The investigation spiraled into uncharted territory, leaving even the most seasoned detectives reeling from the cascade of unexpected clues. Rumors swirled in dimly lit precincts and whispered conversations over diner tables. There was something amiss not only in the execution of the robbery, but also in the very fabric of who was present that day. As law enforcement scoured the chaotic scene, forensic experts uncovered traces of an unusual chemical, a variant of laughing gas that suggested premeditation on a level that was disturbingly personal. It wasn't merely an act of opportunistic burglary. It felt like a well-rehearsed scheme orchestrated by someone who understood the clockwork of betrayal. In a confounding twist, evidence began to point toward the presence of a hidden element. The supposed absence of cash on one of the assailants painted a picture of layered deception. Meticulous criminologists pieced together the narrative, and gradually a startling realization emerged. There should have been another driver in the collection car that day. Instead, all eyes turned toward a prisoner of fate, a second individual who had inexplicably not shown up for work, citing ill health. With his unexplained absence, suspicion grew that this phantom driver was not absent at all, but perhaps involved in a far more intricate conspiracy, deepening the mystery to an almost unfathomable degree. Meanwhile, whispers from within the criminal underworld began to circulate about an elusive figure known only as Rick Davis, an enigmatic persona with a storied past in armed heists and covert schemes. Rumor had it that Rick was connected to the dark folds of city crime, a man capable of orchestrating such complex criminal enterprises with an almost surgical precision. His alleged ties to the vanishing driver only stoked the fire of intrigue, as detectives uncovered murkier connections between Rick's criminal networks and several high-stakes robberies that had shaken the community over recent times. Complicating matters further, the man identified as Tommy Rhodes, the driver who had fired his weapon amidst a fog of smoke and treachery, was found to have eluded hospital custody. His sudden disappearance from medical supervision added an unsettling twist to the tale. Was he merely a desperate survivor caught up in a deadly game of chance? Or did his escape uncover a premeditated cover-up designed to protect someone far more sinister? The unanswered questions swirled in the charged atmosphere of the investigation, each new discovery forging links between the militaristic precision of the assault and a meticulously planned network of deception. As the evidence continued to mount at a relentless pace, every revelation led to more questions about the nature of loyalty and betrayal. What was the true role of the missing driver? And how deep did this labyrinth of deceit run? With each new layer peeled back, the mystery grew ever more convoluted, transforming a seemingly straightforward heist into an elaborate dance of secrets and lies, leaving us to wonder, in the shadowy intersection of money, power, and survival, who really holds the master key to this tangled web of treachery and intrigue? The investigation reached a fever pitch as detectives and forensic experts scrambled to reconcile every disparate clue into a coherent narrative. With every lead pursued, the line between perpetrator and pawn blurred, dredging up unsettling truths about the city's underbelly. The elusive Rick Davis emerged as a prime suspect, a ghost from the criminal realm whose name was whispered in the corridors of power. Evidence began to suggest that his intricate network might have been complicit in more than just a daylight robbery. It pointed to a conspiracy deep enough to shake the very foundations of the criminal establishment. Meanwhile, Tommy Rhodes' escape from hospital custody continued to baffle authorities. His disappearance was not merely a case of a man on the run, but a calculated move that raised unsettling questions about the level of orchestration behind the heist. Was his departure part of an orchestrated plan to cover the tracks of someone even more dangerous? Or was it simply a desperate bid for survival by a man caught in an unyielding tide of violence and deception? As detectives pieced together hours of fragmented testimonies and incongruent clues, a picture began to emerge. A tangled web of betrayal, misdirected loyalties, and an undercurrent of corruption that defied simple explanation. The revelation that there should have been another driver that day only deepened the mystery. This mysterious figure, who had conveniently claimed ill health on the morning of the heist, seemed to have slipped into the shadows unnoticed, leaving behind questions that stretched into the dark corners of the city's criminal history. Meticulous analysis of the scene revealed patterns, a subtle interplay of intentional misdirection and calculated risk that hinted at layers within layers of collusion. The crime was no mere robbery. It was a meticulously choreographed performance, staged by unseen hands that manipulated events with cold precision. In the midst of this unfolding drama, the public watched with bated breath as details leaked from the investigation, fueling rampant speculation about the true nature of the plot. Who had orchestrated the chaos? What was the real role of the driver who now vanished into the criminal world's miasma? Each new discovery not only unraveled another thread of the intricate tapestry of deceit, but also tightened the grip of paranoia among those who believed that the city's darkest secrets might one day see the light of day. As we stand on the brink of further revelations, the mystery remains tantalizingly unsolved, a puzzle with missing pieces and deceptive smokescreens that mask the truth. In a world where every shadow casts multiple silhouettes, one question looms. In the labyrinth of lies and betrayal, who is really pulling the strings behind this elaborate and deadly symphony?